Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. Welcome to Ballsy Uncut. I appreciate you checking me out. However you're doing it, it is appreciated. I know you have a lot of options in today's world, so anytime you come on board, it is a pleasure to talk to you. It's a labor of love for me right now, but it keeps my spirits going. It scratches that itch for sports right now. Still love calling Pats games, Thunder games. Hoping to get into a little U Sports action this year. But, yeah, it sure is great to talk to people who like this content. Now, CFL schedule is out. And, I like the fact that the Blue Bombers and Riders don't play each other before Labor Day, so I like that aspect of it. As a guy who was a kid in the league, I was intrigued by the Bombers' schedule. I like their schedule, the way it's broken up. Kind of not quite as good as the Riders was last year. And the Riders, kudos to them, Corey Mason, the gang, they took advantage of it to win the Grey Cup. Bombers have theirs scheduled nicely. And for my family personally, my son gets to now go be a best man for his college roommate for his wedding in Chicago because the bye just falls perfectly for him. And I know a lot of people here in Rider Nation, because I'm in the Regina area, they look at the schedule and then book their weddings or family events, reunions and such around Rider games. At least that's how it used to be in the past. Maybe that's waned a little bit, but I know the schedule comes out, then you start making your plans here on the prairies, Winnipeg and Saskatchewan. So the schedule itself, though, man, like I understand the World Cup's coming, so BC, like Vancouver and Toronto, will be affected. Argos are being nomadic and playing their games, like for instance in Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, some home games. So that would be a little bit of an issue with the schedule, but it's only a 9-team league. Come on. BC found a way to play games in Kelowna, so they've juggled their schedule and expanding their brand in their own province, which kudos to Mardome, and he does a lot of things well. But you look at the schedule as a whole, and I'm pretty sure me and my buddy Brother Taxo on X, we talk a lot behind the scenes, and a couple other buddies, we could have some beers at Four Seasons or Stats and probably come up with a better schedule. Like, let's move the goalposts and let's get rid of the Rouge and let's do all this other stuff that's not going to sell one more ticket. But let's not do like the NFL does and have our Grey Cup / Super Bowl champs open the season. They do it in the NFL. Why not in the CFL? Your Grey Cup champions, Saskatchewan Roughriders, who won a Grey Cup for the first time since Jesus was a carpenter. 12 years. They end the drought and they win not only get to a Grey Cup, but win it in their arch rivals' stadium. And they get a week 1 bye. What? They get a week 1 bye. In fact, 3 teams have a week 1 bye. The Argos, the Lions, and the Riders. Now, the Argos and the Lions may have to do with the World Cup. I'm not in the planning session. But how do 3 teams have a bye in week 1? That way to get the season off to a great start. And why aren't the Riders playing in week 1? They should have a standalone game to kick off the season, banner raising, and here's a thought. Why don't we have the Montreal Alouettes, the team they beat? Davis Alexander comes into town against Trevor Harris. The Grey Cup rematch. It's a 9-team friggin' league. It's not that hard, but apparently it is that hard. It doesn't matter who the commissioner is. They can't do the simple things right. It's unbelievable. The Riders, it's a no-brainer. Week 1 against the Alouettes. Now, I didn't go through every team schedule with a fine-tooth comb, but I'm going to tell you this right now. That's a no-brainer. Als, Riders, week 1. The Riders don't play the Als till October 12th. What the hell is going on at the league office? Anyway, hopefully you like your team schedule. I will give them kudos, though. The schedule is out December 9th, so good on Good on the league for releasing that, because we'd have to wait till winter meetings in January or February. So I'll give them kudos on that. But that is absolutely schedule malpractice what they did. Crazy, man. Athletes aren't built during the season. They're built here in the off season, where real progress happens. At the Den Sports Performance and Agility Center, they don't just train, they develop. For athletes ages 13 to 17, they offer team packages and individual group training with up to 5 weekly sessions of your choice of dryland or strength-focused work. Every program blends strength, agility, balance, mobility, speed, and recovery with a focus on durability that most programs overlook. Because showing up on game day means staying strong all season. Every session is coached by a certified speed and strength specialist and focused on long-term athletic success, not quick fixes. Flexible programming, real results. The Den Sports Performance and Agility Center is where serious athletes level up. Book your spot now at thedenyqr.ca. Zeljko Stefanovich, how you doing, buddy?
Couldn't be better, Ballsy.
Yeah, I got roughed up in Turkey with a nose job and my eyelid, drooping eyelids, and you roughed up some guys south of the border in Vegas there. U14. I saw the Sask Selects football post, like the post on Facebook. It's a really good post. Talk about how this was more than just like winning for you guys. Like what did this mean for your program going down there? Just besides winning, like what did it mean?
I mean, it has to be about more than just skills and drills, right? And winning and losing. And I mean, you know, I saw those, like, this is the first time that we've ever gone anywhere with just one team.
Okay.
And, you know, a lot of that has to do with what's going on currently in the economy and, you know, with some of the political crap that's going on between, you know, the U.S. and Canada. People, you know, are reluctant to travel. So, but, you know, the brave ones that kind of decided to go, man, like, so we ended up taking 30 kids.
Okay.
One team. We competed in the 14U bracket. There was 3 other teams, so it's not like the bracket was jam packed. But
yeah.
So we ended up playing 2 games over a 3-day period, which is, you know, just the right amount as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
We were asked several times if we wanted to play like a call-out game, you know, on our day off, and I said no. We're, you know, once we beat that first team, we just wanted to play in the final, right? So, you know, those kids, man, like they just, like with those coaches, those kids, they just came together. They gelled, you know, and I was interviewed after the game, because it's not very often that a Canadian team goes down there and wins the big trophy, you know? Like,
right.
So I was doing an interview afterwards, and the guy asked me, you know, you know, tell me a little bit about this. And I said, man, I've never seen a bunch of kids like these 14Us gel like this. And, you know, because you get down there, there's some shit going on, man. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It's a cultural shock for some kids, right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know, they have to lean on each other, right? And that's what football is all about, man.
Yeah.
That's at its core, at its, you know, its most basic. Like that's one of the things that actually develops character, you know, having to lean on the guy next to you, man. Like, you've only been with him, practicing with him for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, this is the guy that you're going to war with, to battle with. And it's the first time in a long time that I've actually been able to see this firsthand, you know, and like those kids, man, they soaked up everything we told them. And, you know,
how important do you think it is in today's day and age, and this kind of leads into what your Facebook post said, today's day and age, where we lose touch, personal connection with people. The young kids are more video gamers in this day and age, but to actually go out and do something concrete, work together as a team, goal setting, all that type of stuff, and influence, like as a young guy, that's pretty cool.
Man, you know what, man? It's like, you watch it firsthand, like you can actually witness it, and these kids are living experiences, man. Like they're living stuff that other kids will never experience. You know, I mean, win, lose, or draw, man. Like, you know, they get thrown to the wolves. It's just them and another dude, man. And I tell you, a could not have been more proud of these kids in the way that they actually responded to the challenge that was in front of them, man. And like I was saying, very few kids ever get a chance to experience that. You know,
is this your favorite? Is this your like? You like all the kids that are in your program, different age groups, but would this be the wheelhouse age group where they're learning the game, but maybe they don't have as many bad tendencies, both in terms of their physical skills and development, but also their mental skill. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like in high school, grade 9, you're kind of. I'm just talking as not even an athlete, but grade 9, you're kind of meek because you're just coming in there. Grade 10, a little more confidence. Grade 11's about the wheelhouse. Do you know what I mean? Because you're you're not grade 9 and 10, but you're not grade 12, so you're not out. You're kind of right in the wheelhouse. Would this be kind of that group where you're like, yeah, this is kind of our wheelhouse group?
So much, man. Like I was saying, like these kids are sponges, man. They wanna, like we went and scouted the other teams and we had a game plan for them and, man, they just ate it all up. They soaked it all up. You know, we had them prepared, you know, to take on this. I mean, how often do you see in Canada? You very rarely see like the wing T offense. You know, it's an incredibly difficult offense to stop. You know, because like they're getting, you know, on the team they played before, they were getting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards a crack. You know, and like those kids, man, like we told them exactly what they had to do, but they brought it, man. And there was Ballsy, there's some studs on that 14U, man. Like there's some studs on that team, man. Like those kids are going to be the next, you know, Jacob Goldstone and Liam LaBelle age, you know, like those kids. That's this age group, man. Like that. If I was like the recruiting guys from these universities, I'd be like camping outside these kids' doors, man. Yeah. It's like, because they're truly amazing, you know, athletically and physically. I mean, intellect, like I mean, it's everything. You know, it's the full package. And
so how long did it take to bring this? Like, how many practices did they have prior to going to Vegas? Like, what did it look like to put that team together?
It was quick. We started at the end of October after their seasons were done, and we had 3 practices before we left. So 3 weekends of practices before we left, and then we had practice while we were down there with a walkthrough. Yeah, you know, so you know, it came together pretty quick. Yeah. But don't forget, a lot of these kids are in our program, right? So we run the same offense right from, you know, the 10U. Yeah, all the way to the varsity age groups and the same defenses, and the kids know it, right? And
hey, do you let me stop you? Do you wear this as a badge? Like, listen, so Saskatoon has their football academy. Regina announced, and I think it was more of a, I don't know this, but I think it was a floater to see how much interest there would be, because I don't know that there's concrete plans yet. But I think I look at your program, and you know, it's expanded in Alberta now and in Manitoba. Like, your program has kind of been the bell cow. It's been kind of the template for this. Like, kids, you know, a place to do something year-round with regards to football. Do you kind of wear that as a badge of honor, that your program's kind of like a trailblazer almost in that way? I don't know if you wanted it to be that way, but I think it's kind of turned out that way. Man,
listen. When we first started this, Ballsy, I've told you this story. They all thought I was fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
They I don't know how many times Lenny said I was crazy for doing this and it'll never work and you can't cut kids and like there's every reason that you could possibly imagine in the book. Like we tried to get insurance from Football Sask when we first started and they had sent us like a 2-page denial letter on why fit kids should not be playing football in the off season. And, I mean, it was easy enough to go get private insurance, but, lo and behold, they're all doing it. Right. Yeah. Because I tell you, like we've always kind of forged our own path, always and I think that's been super important to everybody that's been part of our program. Listen, the tackling techniques that we started 10 years ago, that we were doing 10 years ago, where I made kids take off their shoulder pads and their helmets and teach them how to tackle properly, they all thought I was crazy. Now everybody's doing it. Football Canada's doing it, Football Saskatchewan's doing it, Football Manitoba. They're all doing it, right? We just and we've kind of ignored the noise, right? Everybody thought we were crazy, on what we had started. I tell you, and I've said this time and time again, like proof is in the pudding, man. When you start to develop incredible football players, we're kind of the redheaded stepchild, nobody wants to talk about us, but everybody knows we're here and we're making a difference, right? Yeah. And it's been fun, man. Like 14 years, Ballsy. Like 2011 is when we started, and this year, our biggest year ever. So
how many kids involved right now?
Man, like we have kids from 65 different communities across the province.
Wow.
We have kids that drive 7 and 8 hours. Kids are driving from Flin Flon to come and join our program. Kids are coming from Medicine Hat. They make the drive for the weekend. Lloydminster, Larange. I mean, it's from all over the province, and I think we have close to 300 kids in the program this year.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you,
it's crazy.
I'll tell you right now. I can say it. I'll say it. I've said it to you personally. Like, my son is where he's at because of me. I'm going to say that. It sounds arrogant, but it's because of me. I rubbed off on him, his love for the game. I helped him along the way. Because of my position in the sporting world, I could hook up with the Zeljko Stefanovich. But I would say, and he's had a lot of good coaching over with different guys, Macho Harris, Vincent Donaldson, Nick Lewis. There's been good coaching, of course, UFC, UND. But if he doesn't have Zeljko Stefanovich, now my kid didn't play selects football. We decided not to do that, and there's nothing against your program. It was, I only have a limited budget, and you just talked about money. So I put money into like speed training and everything like that. But I did say, hey, can we come practice with you guys? And you said, sure, when you want to come practice. And then you helped them get down to the States. So I will be the first guy to say it's me and then probably you for the reason that he's in the CFL. And listen, you don't have this program to get kids into the CFL. That's not what this is about. But it is definitely an avenue to get you there and put people on the radar. And there's lots of great coaching, and it teaches lots of great life skills. I've said this many times, Zeljko. I wish in our life, this world is fucked up in a lot of ways, but and Ethan, when he got into the higher level, said you're absolutely right, Dad. I wish we could take whatever's behind a football locker room or a practice field and take it out into the real world. Because it doesn't matter if you're white or black, conservative or liberal, Catholic or Protestant or atheist. It doesn't matter. For that afternoon in Vegas, you're all wearing Sask Selects football uniforms and you're going to battle for a common goal, and you set everything else aside. You're just brothers and sisters in arms, and you're going to work. And I wish we could take that and put it out in society. Because that's the best thing about fucking football right there.
Absolutely, man. Amen to that, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel about it. So January's a big month for you guys. Don't you have that indoor little techno? You got the music pumping, and you guys got the big tournament. Tell us about that, because that's coming up here.
Yeah. So that's January 8th, from the 8th to the 11th. So
okay.
It's in Moose Jaw. It's indoors. We just got our brand new field. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it.
I saw it online. I haven't been there live, but I've seen it with your Facebook posts and everything like that.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Like it's a US-sized field, right? Kind of. Again, some would say we were ahead of the curve on that one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Are you friends with Stuart Johnston, or what's going on here? Yeah. Don't get me started. You and I are pit bulls. We might butt heads a little bit on some things, but we love football. But part of that too, though, Zeljko. Part of that too, like you play American Rules 11-man when you go down there. But let's be honest, the 100-yard field fits better in the Yara Center than like what a bigger field would fit, right?
100%. Yeah, of course. I mean, there's just no room to put a full-size Canadian field.
Yeah.
But listen, I mean. We've been to Germany. This year we're going to Mexico. I mean, everywhere else in the world, Ballsy, they play 4-down football, right? With the American-sized field.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we went that direction. And at the end of the day, man, like we're teaching kids to tackle. Like we teach them the fundamentals. Like we teach them to tackle, to catch the ball, to block. You know, the two most basic things of football is blocking and tackling.
Yep.
We spend a lot of time doing that. I don't care what, I don't care what, if you're playing 6-man, 9-man, or 11-man, or 12-man. Those are fundamental skills that you need to have, right? So, and you look at those kids out there. It doesn't matter that we just love coaching the American game. Like it's a lot of fun for us because you know what? It's a lot of fun for the coaches because they're all coaching the CFL game or Canadian game throughout their seasons. They come to our program and it's a totally different ball of wax. Yeah. They really enjoy the change and coaching. The U.S. defense or the U.S. offense, right? Yeah. So we find it a lot of fun. But back to your original question, our tournament is January 8th to the 11th. I think we're gonna have we're gonna be teetering around 24 or 25 teams, which is the most we've ever had in the history of our tournament. So almost over 1,000 kids are gonna be in Moose Jaw for that weekend.
U.S. teams.
U.S. teams, 100%. Mexico is bringing 4 teams. The Americans are bringing some teams. A pile of teams coming from Alberta. A pile of teams coming from Manitoba. And then, of course, Saskatchewan. We have 8 teams ourselves. So,
I got sick last year, bad laryngitis, and I couldn't come. So I'm coming this year to call some games.
Man, you can't miss it. It's a crazy event, man. And like the feedback that we get, unless they age out, we get teams coming back every year, right? So, it's tough in the U.S. with the older boys, because there's so many restrictions on. Once the kids make a varsity team, it's really tough for them to travel.
Yeah. Sounds like your dog's pretty pumped for the tournament too.
Yeah, just a second.
That's okay, buddy. Doesn't matter. Right. Doesn't matter. So if somebody can people come, you won't have a lot. There's not a lot of stands to watch that though, is there in January? Or it's mostly online. Like you can watch it online, right? Obviously.
No, there's a ton of room in there, man. Okay. We cram people in there. But don't forget, there's football from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., right? So there's games all day, right?
All day,
So, like the evening games, like say starting around 5 p.m., the older boys start to take the field, right?
Okay.
4 or 5. That's when shit really starts to get crazy, right?
Yeah.
And those guys at IKS do an amazing job. Man, it is ballsy. The coverage that we have is CFL quality. There's no word. It's not word over line, man.
Well, I hope it's better than that. I hope it's better than that,
man. We have challenges, man. Like I'm just telling you, those kids absolutely love this stuff, man.
Awesome. So, well, I told you last year. Ballsy and Ballsy will come and call a game. We come and call a couple of games. Ethan and I will come and call a couple of games. I'd love to.
We'd love to have you guys, man, just so you could witness it, Ballsy. Like, I'd love to show Ethan, man, what we've been able to put together. He'd love it.
Yeah, so I'm sure he would
get a real kick out of it.
Well, I can't wait to come out there in January 8th to the 11th and save me a spot in the broadcast perch. Okay, buddy?
100%, man. 100%.
Thanks.
All right, we'll talk later.
Old Man Rivers is back. You see the jersey over my shoulder. I'm a Chargers fan for life. If I was ranking my top three favorite Chargers, it goes LT. No, actually, it goes Rivers, LT, and Junior Seau. And Philip Rivers, one of the greatest non-swearing trash talkers of all time. And I've said he didn't win a championship with the Chargers and the 1 year with the Colts. He is a Hall of Famer. He owns all the San Diego passing records, and Dan Fouts is in the Hall of Fame, and he never won a championship. But I don't know what's going to happen with Rivers. Was a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame this year. I wonder if he gets pushed back now. His window gets pushed back because he just got signed to the Colts practice roster. They've got Daniel Jones, who's having a great year. Broken fibula, but then he still played on that, but wrecked his Achilles. He's out. Riley Leonard, their rookie backup, he's hurt. Rivers gets signed to the practice roster, hasn't played since 2020. That, ironically enough, is the last time the Colts made the playoffs in 2020. They were 11-5, lost a scrappy game in Buffalo to Josh Allen and the Bills in the pandemic year. Rivers, 24 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions. Now, he's been coaching his kid in high school football. Gunner's getting ready to go to college. And, he knows Shane Steichen. They work together with the San Diego Chargers and L.A. Chargers back in the day. Steichen went to the Eagles. You see how the Eagles are stumbling now. And now he's the coach of the Colts. Phillip Rivers is not going to be in the practice roster long. I'll be shocked if he doesn't play this week in Seattle. They need to win. They're just on the outside looking into the playoffs. And Phillip Rivers knows the offense. He has an elite mind, and apparently he popped with his workout, meaning he's still got the arm strength. He's always throwing wonky, but this guy, don't count the Colts out. And I would not be shocked. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl, but the AFC is wide open, and the Colts have a good roster. They have a good roster. So they could make the playoffs and make a little noise. Wouldn't that be awesome? Rivers gets to a Super Bowl and gets inducted into the Hall of Fame in the same year. That would be absolutely crazy. But Phillip Rivers is back, and I, for one, am on the Indianapolis Colts bandwagon. Chargers and the Colts. Speaking of the Chargers, they've got the worst offensive line in the history of football. No Joe Alt, no Rashawn Slater, their bookend stud tackles are gone. Zion Johnson's played good on the O-line, and the Salyer kid is pretty decent, and Bobby Hart, who's coming back from injury, has been okay at times, but for the most part, they've been not very good. Justin Herbert had screws and a plate put in his left non-passing hand at the start of last week. And this week, he comes in Monday Night Football last night, gets sacked 7 times, and wills his team to victory. Him and Dicker, the kicker, and the Chargers defense. But Justin Herbert, I don't care what anybody says. I know I'm a Chargers fan. I'm biased. He is the MVP of the NFL right now. There's no quarterback that could play behind that garbage the way he's playing right now on the offensive line. The Chargers have no business being 9-4. They still have a tough schedule ahead of them. They're going to play a feisty Kansas City team who is on their knees right now trying to salvage their season. So that potentially could be a team that Rivers catches with the Colts, because the Colts own the tiebreaker against the Chargers, and the Chargers have a tougher schedule than the Colts. So that could be the one that the Colts zero in on for a playoff spot. But yeah, Justin Herbert is an absolute stud, and the Eagles are not the same. Have not been the same since Shane Steichen left the team. Yes, they won the Super Bowl last year, but they did it because of Barkley and their defense and Hurts at the right time. He looked bad yesterday. 4 interceptions and a fumble. By the way, if in the CFL, if that happens where Hurts throws an interception, Charger D lineman hand picks it off, he gets stripped, goes back to Hurts on the fumble recovery, then he gets stripped, and Troy Dye, the Chargers linebacker, recovers. If that happens in a CFL game, everybody's talking about bad CFL Bush football. But yes, the NFL has its problems too. It's just, it has its wonky games too. That game was almost unwatchable last night. In fact, I wouldn't have watched it unless I was a Chargers fan. And speaking of Bush League, I jotted down some notes. I was talking with my buddy Ryan Hall, who is an accomplished high school football coach, and we talk a lot. Well, he joins me on the Our Balls Are Bigger post-game show, and one of the great amateur football analysts when he does radio or TV broadcasts. If you get a chance to check out his work, you should do so. Anyway, Ryan and I were talking yesterday, and it's true. We were going back and forth on this. Like, people think the CFL's Mickey Mouse. How about how they pick NCAA playoff teams? There's no clear consistency in the process or criteria to making playoffs. Different teams have different criteria to make the playoffs. Coaches can leave for bigger contracts, a.k.a. Lane Kiffin, who's a hunk of garbage. players can leave with this NIL money. They go take off. So you want to talk about Bush League? It's NCAA football. FIFA, IOC, and NCAA, in no particular order, the three most corrupt organizations in sports. They need somebody at the top to clean that mess up, because it is the wild, wild west. I've really given up on watching NCAA football. I don't know. I'm hoping Indiana does something. I have always liked the Oregon Ducks. My FCS team, the UND Fighting Hawks, are out. Even NDSU and SDSU are out. The only team left there is South Dakota. So, not a big NCAA fan in terms of their hierarchy and what they do for the playoffs. Although I do think everybody's all upset Notre Dame didn't get in, and Ryan's actually a Notre Dame fan. Hey, you had a chance to beat Miami and Texas A&M, and you didn't beat either of those teams. Those are the two toughest games on your schedule. You didn't deserve to get in my estimation. But neither, Tulane and James Madison in because they're conference champions, but they left out Mountain West conference champ. They left out some other conference champs. So they need to expand it to 16 teams, if not 24. And the other thing is bowl games are dead. Notre Dame's not playing in a bowl game. Baylor's not playing in a bowl game. Really, with the playoff system, bowl games are dead. Why would you waste your time? Just end your season, get on to the next year. Oh, man. But Old Man Rivers is back. Dang gummit, I can't wait to see it.